I'm J.D. Cannon. Welcome to the world of MCA Disc-O-Vision. We've devoted years of effort to the development of this amazing communication system, very sophisticated in design, but quite easy to operate. This program has been prepared for users of the General Motors Video Center to show you everything you'll need to use your MCA Disc-O-Vision model PR-7820 player. A video disc the size of a 12-inch LP contains up to 54,000 individual frames of still pictures or printed information. So should you choose to play the video disc straight through, it can bring you a half hour, or for extended play discs, up to a full hour of high-quality television. A powerful feature of the MCA optical Disc-O-Vision player is that it gives you instant access to any program or image on the video disc. You have the flexibility to play back video disc programs in the sequence and at the pace you select. Discovision lets you be the boss. To begin playback of a disc, turn the player power on, open the cover by pressing this button, and place the disc on the spindle. To secure the disc firmly, simply press these two projecting ears on the spindle until both audibly click and remain in the retracted position. Then, with the cover closed, use the play button to start. It's located either here on the player panel or here on the remote control unit, sometimes called the touchpad. You can operate the player either with the controls on the front panel or with the touchpad, which duplicates many of the commonly used controls on the player panel. Now, most persons find it more convenient to use the remote control, which can be wireless or can be connected to the player with a cable. To connect the cable, simply plug one jack into this outlet on the remote control unit and the other into the outlet on the front of the player. If the remote control unit is to be wireless, remember that you have to aim it in a clear path toward the player. This red light comes on to let you know that the player is receiving the signal from the remote. When you're finished playing a disc, press the reject button. You notice it's located only on the player panel. Pressing reject stops the rotation of the disc and returns it to the park position. To remove the disc, grasp the spindle spool with your index and third finger. Gently pull the spool up as you press down the center shaft with your thumb. You'll hear a click, and the disc may be removed. Well, now I'd like to show you some of the valuable things your MCA Disc-O-Vision system lets you do. Oh, by the way, the picture you see on my TV screen isn't nearly as good as the TV picture you'll get from your video discs. This loss of quality is just something that happens when you take a picture of a television picture. Your video discs will deliver an excellent picture. As I was saying, the Discovision player gives you many special capabilities. First, you can stop the action, freeze it at any point. You simply press the stop button. Now, one single frame of picture is now held on the screen for as long as you want. Now, while you're stopped, you can step ahead or back, looking at individual frames or pictures one at a time. Use one of the step buttons. Step forward, which is the button on the right side of the touchpad, or step reverse on the left. Now, here's step forward. Step reverse. Now, in just a moment, I'll give you a chance to try these for yourself, but a couple of other things first. Now, after I've stopped the action, I start the program again by pressing play.
Ohl's research is an ongoing process. Take corrosion.
You can also watch a video disc program in slow motion, either forward or reverse.
For example, this
Right button for forward, left button for reverse. By the way, notice that the sound cuts off when you're running at anything other than normal speed. So that you can control the rate of slow motion, we've incorporated a speed control slide on the player panel. You can adjust it to speed the picture up or slow it down. Now it's your turn to practice using the controls I've just shown you. I'm going to give you a short piece of sports film to practice with. You're going to practice using these buttons: stop, play, slow, forward and reverse, and step, forward and reverse. Oh, be careful not to press any of the other buttons until we've explained them. You can also try out the slow motion speed control slide. And when you're through practicing, press the play button, and I'll return to the screen shortly. Okay? Go ahead with your practice. Take as much time as you want. You're in control. I'll be back in about 30 seconds at the end of the sports scene. How about that? Pretty easy, isn't it? And it gets even easier the more you use it. For your convenience, most of the discs you will be showing on your General Motors Video Center have been pre-programmed in a special way. This pre-programming, accomplished by a process inelegantly called program dumping, makes it possible for you to watch different sections of the disc in any sequence you'd like. Now, here's how this flexible system works. When you put on a disc and press play, an index, something like this, will appear on your television screen. The index is your table of contents. It will list the subjects covered in the program and the location or address of where each subject is found on the video disc. You simply pick out the subject you want to see, El Dorado, for example, and the number it has been assigned, in this case, 0204. Then all you have to do is punch in its number here on the touchpad and press Run Index. The player will speed through the disc, instantly find the part of the program you selected, and run it.
Simple, unadorned look that naturally follows function. A car designed to be driven.
At the end of that section, the player will automatically stop. To return to the index, just press the Run Index button, and the index will reappear, ready for you to make another selection or to turn the unit off. Now, this method conveniently allows you to find program sections listed on your index. Practice it later with the pre-programmed discs supplied to you by General Motors. There's yet another method that lets you go directly to any part of the disc you'd like. You see, every one of the 54,000 frames or pictures on the disc has its own number or address. Now, you can have the frame numbers displayed on the television by pressing the frame display button here on the panel. Press once for on, once again for off. Now, you can see that better if I stop the action and step through some frames. Notice that each frame advances the number by 1. These numbers are like pages in a book. You can use them to find the precise place you're looking for. First, you have to know the exact frame number to which you want to go. You punch in that frame number or address on your touchpad, and then press Search on the player panel. Now, the machine takes you instantly to the frame you requested. Say, for instance, I want to go to frame 4975. I press 4975 on the touchpad. Then I press Search on the player panel. The player searches to frame 4975 and stops there. It holds this frame on the screen until I press Play to start the action.
Tradition, efficiency, Monte Carlo, the personal...
Now, if you should make a mistake when you're entering numbers, simply press the clear button, start over. Well, now I'd like to give you some practice in using the search function. Don't press any buttons yet. You'll get a chance in a minute. Just listen for a moment while I describe what you're going to do when the practice session begins. First, you'll stop the action by pressing stop. Then you'll call up the frame number by using the frame display button on the player panel. When the frame number appears on your screen, write it down on a piece of paper so you won't forget it. It's the frame you're going to return to after you've practiced searching to another part of the disc. Without it, you won't be able to find your way back. Then you'll punch in a frame number. Now, for the practice section, you can punch in any number up to 40,000. Then you press Search. Now, the machine will take you directly to the frame number you requested. You can even practice searching out several frame numbers until you get the feel of it. Now, when you want to come back to this part of the program, Punch in the number you wrote down on your piece of paper, press search, and you'll be right back where you started. Then press play to resume the program. Okay, now in just a moment, a card will come up on your screen reviewing the directions I just gave you. As soon as the directions come on, press the stop button, take a minute to read the instructions carefully, then begin your practice. Oh, you found me again. Welcome back and congratulations. As you've just seen, with the frame address and the search button, you can go to any single frame on the video disc instantly and precisely. And with an index which lists the various segments of a program and the Run Index button, you can, in the same manner, go to any section of the program you'd like to see. Now, there is one other way you can move around the various parts of a video disc program. That's by using the fast forward and fast reverse buttons. Now, these controls let you play back the program quickly so you can search visually for the part of the program you want to see. Two different speeds are available. When the disc is playing at normal speed or even in slow motion, you can move very quickly across the disc by depressing one of the fast buttons. Fast forward on the right, fast reverse on the left.
Remember, your mileage may
Used
vary
like this, it
depending
takes
on how
only
you drive.
5 seconds to cross the entire disc from beginning to end. But if the picture is stopped and you depress the fast buttons, you move more slowly across the disc, like this.
Your salesperson.
It takes about 2 minutes to cross the disc at this speed. The last control you need to know about is located here on the player panel. These two buttons labeled Audio 1 and 2 control the sound. The disc has two separate high-fidelity audio channels. These two audio channels make it possible to have, for instance, sales material or instruction in two different languages. This disc has English on Audio 1 and French on Audio 2. To hear only the English, I just turn off Audio 2, like this.
Before these new cars reach their new owners, quality is built in all along the way, and in areas you probably will never see. For example, the new size 1978...
To hear the French version, I turn off Audio 1 and punch on Audio 2.
Le système de suspension est nouveau. La suspension avant à roue indépendante comprend des bras de suspension longs et courts. À l'avant,
A remarkable capability. Now that we've reviewed the basic operating features of your MCA Disc-O-Vision player, you can see that it's a versatile and easy-to-operate communications tool. And by the way, with a splitter, you can play up to 4 television receivers using a single Discovision player. And you can even use this professional device to play back entertainment discs made for the consumer model video disc players. Using your MCA Disc-O-Vision system is easy and trouble-free. But should you experience any problems, the next section on troubleshooting will give you a few tips on how to handle them. Now, here are some simple things you can check if you're having a problem with the player. First, if the disc won't rotate, check these things. Is the player plugged into the wall outlet? Is the power switch turned on? Is the disc firmly clamped on the spindle? When you pressed in on the ears of the spindle, did you hear the click? Is the lid completely closed? Make sure the cover open light is not on. Next problem. The disc rotates, but no picture appears. Check these things. Is the TV set turned on? Is the TV tuned to the same channel as the channel selector switch on the side panel of the player? Is the cable properly connected from the player to the TV set? Is the disc installed correctly? Well, the label side should be up. Incidentally, if you're playing consumer or entertainment discs, the label side should be down. Now, here are things you can check if you have a distorted or poor quality picture. As before, check the channel setting on the player and TV, the cable connection, and whether the disc is installed right side up. Try making an adjustment to the fine tuning of the TV set. If you're using channel 3, try switching both player and TV set to channel 4, or vice versa. Change to another video disc. If the problem clears up, you'll know that it was the disc at fault, not the player. Finally, several minor problems. A picture that sticks in one spot or jumps backward is usually caused by a flawed area on the video disc. Move past the bad area by tapping the Scan Forward button very briefly. On some discs, you may occasionally get a flicker when you stop the action. You can reduce or get rid of this effect by stepping forward or back a few frames until you find the one that holds steady. If the remote control unit isn't operating properly, check the battery. You may need a new one. Now, the battery is a standard 9-volt transistor battery and is easily replaced by sliding open this door on the back of the remote control unit. Now, if you go to use the player and cannot get the cover open, make sure you've remembered to turn the power on. The cover's designed not to open unless the power is on. Notice that there's a carriage hold-down screw located in this access hole on the side of the player. Whenever you move the player, be sure to engage the carriage hold-down screw by solidly anchoring the spindle and gently turning the screw clockwise until it tightens to a stop. After the player has been moved, you must release the carriage by turning the screw counterclockwise a minimum of 10 turns until the screw completely releases and no further resistance is felt. With these simple troubleshooting steps, you can easily take care of the most common problems by yourself. I'm sure you'll find your new MCA Disc-O-Vision system to be rewarding and enjoyable. I thank you for watching.